That's a very good question. Every time you ask it, that's a very good question.
Good morning, everyone. You're watching the Business Portal, your gateway to business trends and opportunities. I'm your host, Boom San Agustin, and this is SME Forum. Good morning, everybody. And now we're going to, I'd like to welcome you all back after a long hiatus. We haven't had a live show in a while. And today we're going to have an interesting topic. Foreigners doing business in the Philippines. What are their challenges? What do they face? What are the reasons for them to do business in the country? And we have two guests who are obviously foreigners. And my first guest is here to this side, is an author. He's also a coach and he's a trainer. And he also is an entrepreneur. So let's welcome Mr. Raju Mandian. A few words, sir.
Thank you. Good morning. Thank you for having me on this show. And the few words are that, yes, I'm a foreigner. Yes, I'm an author, coach, and a trainer. And yes, I spent 20 years doing business, small business in this country.
Wow.
So that's who I am.
That's why you're here right now.
Right.
And he's a familiar face.
Yes, well, we won't talk about that. I promised him that. Okay, so my next guest is the CEO and also one of the owners of a company called WeFit Solutions. That is a business process outsourcing company to Europe. Mr. Mika Dorchon. Did I get your name right, Mika?
Yeah, that's right. You make progress in pronunciation French.
All right. So we didn't invite any American nationals right now because we want that you see the rest of the world as well. Okay. So let's start. First of all, let's see Raju. What do you do? Can you give us a background? What you do?
Let's say author, coach, and trainer. No.
Yes.
Those are the key words. Those are the tag words. But what I really do is I help individuals and corporations bring about change in their companies. I help them achieve what they hope to achieve, what they plan to achieve. So basically, I'm a catalyst, a business catalyst. You could say that. So I'm a change consultant, if you look at the big picture. So that's what I do, and I've been doing this for 10 years. And I do this sometimes one-on-one with CEOs, and sometimes I do it for large groups. And sometimes companies employ me to really create a turnaround. It's called intervention. So if they have a challenge, if the business is not going well or something's kind of hampering the business growth, then they call me.
Oh, okay.
So I'm that guy.
You're that guy.
Yeah.
Okay, so also, I forgot, this is always the fault of mine, really. I keep forgetting the guy beside me, because you're right beside me, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so Alvin Tan, okay, maybe you can tell them what number to dial in case they have a question.
Yes, this is my role right here.
Right.
Yeah, if you have any questions or comments, just send them over and text to this number, 0923-416-5281. And please indicate your name and location.
All right. So now let's go to Mika. Mika, what do you do basically? What is your business about?
Our main business is, let's say, it's pretty simple and somehow pretty new. We are providing distance training, and with a special focus on languages.
Oh, distance training.
Yeah.
Special focus on languages. What does that mean?
We provide mainly to European customers, European employees, the possibility to get from home or from their office language training.
Language in
English, especially in English, but basically we provide any kind of language training.
Oh, okay. So you provide any kind, whatever they desire, I hope.
Somehow, yeah, because the principle is the principle of our business is to provide a very specialized and flexible training. So we try to meet the needs of our customer as much as we can do.
Oh, okay, okay. So then we mentioned earlier that Raju is an author.
Yeah.
And right here on the table, could you focus on this table, please? Right here. Okay, so
Look at his goods,
yeah,
huh?
yeah. Well, let's show them
The
a
buffet,
few.
the
Okay, this is a
buffet.
buffet of books that Raju himself has written. Heart of Public Speaking, The Heart of Humor. Okay, there, right there. Yes, these are books. They are available in National Bookstore, I think. No,
Oh,
not yet?
they're in all 3 bookstores. They're in
All-
Power Books, Fully
Uh-huh.
Booked, and National Bookstores.
And this one's new. I haven't seen this. Leadership Conventions with NLP.
It's Leadership Conversations.
Oh, wait. Okay, my glasses are Conversations with NLP.
with Neuro-Linguistic Programming.
All
So
right.
That's
so,
a live.
now, this
wo-
one, you should explain this.
Okay, that's a live workshop. Leadership Conversations through NLP.
Uh-huh.
When I say leadership conversations, all leadership conversations are about creating change, about achieving a certain vision, a certain dream. So conversations, like you and I having a conversation. And through NLP is a school of discipline. It's a school of communication and performance excellence. And it means neuro-linguistics programming.
Oh, okay. So that's Neuro-Linguistics Programming,
Correct.
NLP. All
Correct.
right.
So what it really means is that creating change at the neurological level through conversations. So that's what it is. And that's a workshop I did in Singapore a year and a half ago. So that CD you're looking at is live, as in like full action. You could have people shouting and screaming and having
Oh,
fun.
so this is the.
It's not a
actual-
book. It's a live workshop. Yeah.
Uh-huh. This is the one you conducted in Singapore.
Correct. 2009.
And
Oh.
Raju is one of the few people who are licensed to teach NLP.
007.
Yeah.
License to teach.
How do you get a license to teach NLP?
Well, you go and first study for 3 days and for another 5 to 7 days. And it's not done in the Philippines yet. I think there are a couple of people who are providing that
push
kind of
it, yeah,
licensing here.
Uh-huh.
I had it done from a company called the National Federation of Neuro-Linguistic Programming out of Florida.
Wow.
So that was years ago.
Oh,
Dr. Richard Horton.
Okay, okay.
Cool. So you're bringing it to the Philippines.
Well, it's already here, and it's not something new. It's not. It's not rocket science. It's what you and I do, but you do it at a much more excellent level. That means you do it with much more awareness. So,
Yeah.
Okay, so wait, let's go back to Mika,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
Mika, before We Fit Solutions, before you set up a company here in the Philippines, what were you doing?
It's 5 years ago, I guess. I was working for a European company
Yes.
in the Philippines.
Oh, okay. You already worked here.
Yeah, so that was the first step 5 years ago.
Uh-huh.
And I simply decided to live in the Philippines. And let's say almost 2 years ago, I decided to give up my job and to start the big adventure.
Oh, which
Wow.
is business, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So you decided to give up the job first.
Yeah.
Wow, big step. Okay, we'll get back to that one. All
Are
right.
you the sole owner of WeFit Solutions? Private equity, or it's a partnership
It's a partnership.
with France?
Yeah, we are three associates: French, German, and French also.
French,
Wow.
German, and French. Right?
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, it's more French than German.
More French.
All right, so for all the Germans watching there, this is not a German company. This is a French company.
There's no
All
bias.
right. So Raju, before you became this famous author and speaker, you did business in the Philippines. Can you explain a little bit about that?
Oh, first let me tackle the word famous.
All right.
Famous probably in your mind and in your heart, but, and in my own mind, but not
Yes.
really famous. I spent 20 years in international trade and manufacturing, and I went across the world selling, wheeling, and dealing with people. But I was selling Filipino products to U.S., to Latin America, to Europe, and to the Middle East. So I spent 20 years in the old-fashioned business of making goods and packing them and shipping them out of the Philippines. So that's where I spent 20 years. And then about 12 years ago, I moved into consulting and training.
Okay, so you have had much experience with how business is done here. I mean, you've manufactured, exported.
Yeah. Well, the experience is all here. You know, these are the stripes that I got from the experience. Gray stripes. Yes, I started from scratch, and
Yeah.
I stumbled and I succeeded, and I stumbled and succeeded. But eventually there was a huge period of success in my life. I'm still, you know, in many ways, success before was measured in material terms, and now I measure success in terms of how much I give out,
All right.
how much I help somebody else. So yes, I did that. So did I answer your question, or did I skip the part?
Yes.
Okay.
You did it perfectly.
Yeah.
By the way, okay. So Mika, this question's for you. I mean, when you decided to do business in the Philippines, I mean, why did you decide to do
Yeah.
to bring your company here, set up a business here in the Philippines?
I think that's the best question.
A very good question.
It's a very good question. I think that could be the same question you could ask to anybody who will create his own business. It's what is the motivation? What are the main reasons? And for myself, it was the motivation of getting involved in a so big challenge, and the possibility to create something I wanted. By that I mean, as everybody know, we get jobs, we work for sometimes very big companies, but the job ownership is not something very accessible to everybody. Creating a business, I will say that's the royal way to do it. There is no such best way than to bring your own vision, to bring your own creativity, and at the end, hopefully, saying, this is what I wanted to do, and I made it.
Oh, okay.
Wow.
So, you have a question?
Interesting. Yeah. Not to be negative here, but what were the biggest challenges for both of you while doing business here?
Biggest challenge, I will say, the biggest challenge is from the experience I had before. I was not really prepared to create my own business. I will say that's the main challenge, because as soon as you start to get into it, you can start to see there was many things you didn't expect from the beginning, and you are discovering that step by step. So as much as you thought you were prepared, you are just discovering you're not really prepared for everything.
Okay.
And so you're getting, I will say, not surprise every day, but almost
Almost a surprise every day.
a surprise every day. So yes, that's the biggest challenge, because reacting to that, it's not. I think it's not easy for everybody, and unless you are really motivated, sometimes it can be easy to give up.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Cool.
How about you, Raj?
I remember I was about 28 years old, and I'd started working when I was 23. I worked for an engineering company, then I worked for a manufacturing company, then I worked in sales for about 3 or 4 years. But then I worked for sales for a long time. When I was 28 or 29, I remember driving down Makati Avenue, and I had my old beat-up Gemini diesel car. And I'd made a deal, a business transaction, completely on my own. And then I realized that, Raju, something inside me told me, now you know how to do business.
Okay.
You know how to be chaga. You know how to be a negociante. No?
Okay.
Prior to that, you think that you know business. You read the books. You go do your MBA, and you get all the mentoring you want. But there comes a time. There comes an aha moment in your life. You say, "Kuha ko na.
Oh, okay.
I speak French, by the way. So you get it, no? So you get it that you know that you have to take care of the supply side, you have to take care of the operation side, you have to market yourself, and you have to be like a hawk, like a really crazy hawk watching over your business. And you know it's going to turn around. So I figured that out when I was 28 or 29. So the personal challenge, or the challenge that I faced before that, was not being able to see beyond a certain curtain that is ahead of you. We all think kaya ho yan, pero there comes a time you really know it. And so the paradigm is that you don't understand it. Once you understand it, then you know you can apply that philosophy to any business, whether you are into IT or the new age business, or you put up a barber shop. You someday know it that you can do it. So that's the challenge.
Oh, okay, okay. Just to remind our viewers, we have a number here, 0923-416-5281. Please indicate your name and location. It's right here under the screen, right here. Okay, so please text in your questions. It's a very interesting topic about what foreigners go through when doing business here in the Philippines. Okay, so back to Mika here. When Alvin asked you challenges, something came to my mind, okay? What are the challenges peculiar to Filipinos or to the Philippines?
Country challenges.
Country challenges. I will say the main one is the difference of culture between between the Europeans, the Americans, and the Filipino.
Okay.
Somehow I was lucky to live few years before I started business in the Philippines. Meaning, I had time to meet a lot of people, to understand how the country was working, how the Filipino were thinking, even if I still learn every day. I still learn every day. But it was a very good benefit for me living in the Philippines prior to starting the business. I think I can, in fact, somehow I expect that feeling from other foreigners who will want to start it from scratch without being in the country. Might scare most of them, because culture very different, especially when you come from Western countries. You have first a gap between Western and Asian. And after you have the specificities of the country, of the culture. So that's very difficult at first, but it's taking time. It's taking time to know, to understand, and to learn how to react to that.
Okay, Raju, is that the same?
I think your question is ease of doing business in the Philippines. That's what it's related to.
Ease or difficulty?
Ease of doing business. My apologies, but Saturday I was reading the Philippine Daily Inquirer, and Philippine places number 146.
146.
146. Ease of doing business. Singapore places 1, Hong Kong places 2. Now, I think that's a wrong measure. That measure needs some help. See, when you say ease of doing business, they're probably talking about registering with the BDT or the BOI or the SEC, you know. Maybe that's challenging because the paperwork. But ease of doing business should be many other things. It should be people, it should be financing, it should be location, it should be infrastructure. So I don't think that's taken into account. When I started my first business, I'd never done business in any other country. I was a kid, no? Yes, it was challenging. Yes, it was tough. But there were other conveniences. The fact that you can seek support from Filipinos. You know, the culture of Filipino of helping each other, that should be measured in. That's never measured in. No? So you have that convenience. So maybe going to SEC is a challenge because of the structure. But going out into the world of business, that becomes easy. No? So from my perspective, yes, that part is tough, and I'm sure SEC and BOI and BDT and the Department of Trade are working at it constantly. I know some of them are my friends. I hope they don't hear me talk about this right now. But yes, they are working on it, and in a couple of years, I think we should really rise up that ranking soon.
We all hope so.
We should.
Yeah. Matter of time.
Anyway, you brought up SEC, BOI, DTI, all these government agencies. We're going to get into a break, folks, in a while, but I'll leave you with this question. Okay? The question is, what are the legal challenges first, before the cultural challenges? What are the legal challenges you faced when you were still setting up your business? And what would you advise other foreigners? So we'll get into this break, and don't touch that dial. We'll be back soon. All right? You're back on the Business Portal. I'm Boom San Agustin, and this is SME Forum. And we left a question hanging, but before that, for those of you who are going to text in or call in a question, for the best question of the day, we're going to give a gift. And what gift is it? Well, Raju has volunteered to give you one of the CDs, yes. Well, these are not the only 2 CDs he has. He's going to give you one of those CDs as a gift for the best question of the day. As an additional gift, for the, we'll be giving 2 gifts today. I'll be giving away another ticket to the best workshop ever on November 20 and 21 at the Makati Stock Exchange for free.
Wow. How much is it worth again?
It's worth 3,999 pesos.
Wow.
All right. So you're going to get 2 gifts today. 2 callers will be getting a
Just
gift.
for asking a good question.
Yes.
Can I call in?
Yeah.
No, you may not.
Yeah, that's
You're a guest, okay? So, all right. All right. So, I left the question, what are the legal challenges you faced when putting up a business here? Mika.
I think there is two aspects. The first aspect, in fact, from my experience, the first one was the administrative side, which
Administrative, yes.
can be very complicated for somebody who doesn't know how it's working. And I say that when I compare to, by example, to European countries, where procedures for creating companies are quite more simple. Quite more simple. I was lucky to know very good people who helped me with that and teach me. They taught me exactly how it was working, so it was easier to understand.
Okay.
But for somebody who's just arriving and wants to create a business in the Philippines, I will say good luck.
So it's frustrating sometimes.
Yeah.
But that's because basically, from what I'm reading here, it's more, you're saying it's because of lack of knowledge rather than just being plain difficult.
I would say it's both both way. First, it's not always clearly explained, and after when you know and you understand how it's working, you discover. I will take a very simple example. You want a business permit.
Okay.
You need to deal with the city, the building, the mayor office, and many others,
SEC and stuff like that, yeah.
So, for me, coming from Europe, it looks like a lot of papers, because at the end it's more or less all similar. It's all similar. There is no, for now, there is no simple way to do it. So that's the first aspect. The second aspect is, depending on the type of business you want to settle in the Philippines, there are many rules in terms of ownership.
Okay.
By that I simply mean the share you can own in a company as a foreigner will be different depending on the kind of business.
Yes.
I was lucky with that. Is in the Philippines there is good benefits to bring BPO businesses and IT businesses. So it's making things more, I would say, more sexy
Or 60.
Yeah, easier.
Only the French would use that. Yes.
No four-letter words here.
So that's the good side. The good side of it. And I'm not sure it's easy to. How can I say that? I'm not sure it's well known.
Oh, yes.
It's well known abroad. It's known when you are living in the Philippines, knowing as soon as your business is based on export, you get some incentives. But as a foreigner, when you arrive in the Philippines, or even if you from your country, you start to get interested in settling the business in the Philippines. That's not something you already know at the beginning.
Okay, so how about you, Raju? What specific? I mean, not just challenges, but also good.
Let me give you the bigger perspective on this, because I have worked hand in hand with DTI for the longest time, and BOI, so they're all friends. Faye De Los Reyes and Mar Rojas, we've kind of been chums, no? Number one is ownership of company, equity. So you have 40/60 only if you are doing business locally and generating an income locally. So if I'm a foreign company and I want to say put up a shoe shop, and I'm going to sell to Filipinos, then I can only own 40%.
Yes.
But if I'm going to sell my shoes to America, then I can own 100% of my business, plus I get incentives for generating $1 income.
All right.
So that's ownership. It's a challenge. You go to US, any Tom, Dick, and Harry, that's not a four-letter word, by the way. Tom, Dick, and Harry can own a business, even a small one, 100%. So that's US, that's Singapore. We don't have that here because some of our laws were made in the 50s, no? So they are being corrected right now that they will allow small business ownerships. The challenge there is that the setup of the business scenario in the Philippines is that there's only 5% large corporations. 95% is all small businesses. So when a foreigner comes in, he's either got to be big business or he's either got to be 100% export generated income. So the other 95%, a small guy comes in, he has a challenge. That is the specific challenge. And as a foreigner, you cannot open up a restaurant and own it 100%. So that maybe, if it's worked out, then the ease of doing business in this country will jump up several ranks. So that's the thing. But again, you've got to look at it from a positive perspective that challenges in terms of owning and registration may be hard, but putting up a nice Persian grill in Greenbelt gives you good income because you have lesser competition. So that's the plus side.
Interesting.
Okay, yeah, that's interesting because most foreigners or more, even some Filipinos that I know don't know this aspect. We always stick to this, what we call the 60-40 rule.
So there's 100% ownership as long as actually 90% of your income is generated overseas, not 100%, 90%. So if I make jackets, for example, if I export 90%, then I'm allowed to do 10% locally. That means my overruns, my leftovers, or maybe I just need to test my product in the market. So you can do that. So plus you get incentives from BOI.
Wow, fascinating. Wow.
Call centers, all those buildings, lesser taxes, lower wages, lower power rates, lower utility rates too.
Oh, really?
In EPSA.
In EPSA.
EPSA and all those buildings that are now EPSA certified.
Are you EPSA certified?
No.
Refit, or
No.
it's not
PEZA, I'm sorry.
Oh, PEZA, I mean.
No.
So you should work on that then.
Yeah, but it's very similar to the BOI incentive. Those are very similar, and you don't need to get both. It's either BOI or PEZA. The good aspect of the BOI is you are not you have a wider choice of location offices, not like the PEZA where you have some more restricted area where you can get that incentive.
Oh, okay. So wait, do you have any questions?
Yeah, interesting. Now we're actually shifting from the negative aspects, the challenges. Now we're moving to the positive side. Yeah. So would you encourage other foreigners to do business here, and why?
You want to go first, Mr. Doshan?
I'll let you do the honor.
Go first. You want to go first or me first? Or me first? Yes, it's been my advocacy for the longest time. I used to chair the Filipino-Indian Business Council from the year 2002 till 2009. I just surrendered the chairmanship of that thing. And I've been always inviting, especially in my case, Indians, and of course when other Asians come in, that come and put up your business here. Number one, see, there's a lot of land. You just move out of Metro Manila, property rates go down like 500%. So if you go to the provinces, you can own land, you can get, lease property for the lowest possible way. And there's a lot of talent here, which you cannot get anywhere in the world, and English-speaking talent, right? So if there are minor hurdles about registration and a certain legalities with the barangay and the municipality, etc., once you overcome that, then it's a flight. It's a flight. And it's safe now. People think it's unsafe. It's safe to do business in the Philippines. So I should invite. In fact, Obama should be listening to them on this one. Yeah.
I think he is. I think he's watching. No.
Anyway, we've got a texter.
Yeah. But Mika, we want Mika's opinion.
Go ahead. Let's no. Let's hear the texter. Don't worry, we'll get your message through.
Would you encourage fellow Europeans to come over and do business?
Yeah, absolutely. I will just to add a little bit more to what has been said, because I totally 100% agree with that. The only thing is I will add is foreigners coming in the Philippines should find the right, should spend the time to know the country, to get a good network, and to get somehow good advice on how to settle the business in the Philippines. As long as that part is already handled, it's not really a big deal anymore.
Ah, cool. So you invite them over to tour the country first, so tourism first, right?
Yeah, to understand, it's basically to understand the culture, to understand...
it's build a network also.
Yeah, build a network. It's not all about Metro Manila. Philippines, it's not just Manila. And that's something very, very important.
Wow,
actually, the name Manila is more popular than Philippines. Yeah. When you go outside, you say Manila, everybody knows. Anyway, we've got this texter.
Yeah.
His question is, I didn't get your name. By the way, could you text back your name and location? But the question is it hard to work with Filipino employees? What can you say about Filipino people as employees? That's a very good question.
Me?
Yeah, why not? Well, let's start with you, Raj.
You've heard of the thing called work-life balance.
Right?
Work-life balance. In the States and Europe and other developed countries, they have this family day and try to relax and be unstressed in your work life. No? Here in Philippines, when you go to work, when I go to my office, when I used to have a lot of employees, it's like going into family. I swear to you, you walk in, the culture and the relationship that you have with your workers here, with this team over here, the relationship you have is like family.
Yeah.
So you don't really have stress. Your work life is balanced. The Filipino worker, the Filipino employee is, number one, is loyal, is honest, and he's a happy person. It's not difficult to make your Filipino employees happy. It's really simple. All you have to do is respect them, nurture them, care for them, and give them enough and a bit more for the future, and it's really a happy crowd. I have been to Latin America, and you go to the US where it's all task-based. It's not as easy. This is, in terms of people, this is the easiest country. If those rankers who did Singapore and Hong Kong would rank it from the people perspective, we would be champions.
Oh.
So there you go, lady, whoever it's questioning. That's my answer. We are champions when it comes from the window of people.
Oh, okay.
Thank you for that.
How about you, Mika? And I have personal experience.
That's true. Once again, I will go back to the difference of culture and the difference of way of thinking. I think there's a gap at the beginning, and that's something I will say a first step to focus on. To succeed, you absolutely need to fill that gap. To understand, you cannot expect a Filipino employee to think exactly the same way you do. And it's not because they don't think the same way than you do, you're right and they're wrong. As long as you understood that and you agreed on that, I think you made already a good first step.
Okay, so we have another text message here from Susa Yu. Again, no location, but I guess you're in the Philippines. So, is it easier to do business in the Philippines than in your country in particular? And why the Philippines?
France or India?
We'll start.
Okay.
Okay, go alphabetical. Alphabetical.
Exactly.
Viva le Frances.
Easier. I won't say it's easier. I think doing business, you are exposed to the same risk wherever you do it.
Good point. Yeah.
Because it's not an exact science. Many companies have been succeeding. Many have failed also. Difference, I don't see so much.
Okay.
Why in the Philippines? Personally, it was somehow luck.
Luck.
Yeah, it was not really on purpose. I went to the Philippines. I decided to stay, and one day, looking around, I was thinking, wow, there is really a lot of possibilities in terms of creativity, in terms of creating business in the Philippines, compared to other countries where markets are already big, everything is already done, you have less space for creativity. Philippines,
it's still growing.
It's still growing, yeah.
Right. How about you?
All right. Maybe the person who asked that question, I don't know if it's a lady or a guy or a gentleman. Oh, Susan. So I'm assuming that's a woman or a girl.
Yes, okay.
So your question is easier. But if you had asked me, was it better to do business in my country? Today, I would tell you that it is much better to do business in India because of the size of the economy. Because it's a growing economy. It's really growing at 10% per annum. It's easier to do Philippines and it's easier to do business in the Philippines, but better to do business in India right now, today, in this century. But about 30 years ago, it was easier and better to do business in the Philippines. The reason is very simple. Philippines has an underground economy, and that's a challenge. Most other countries don't have that. So the business you do is a bit of a struggle. Nothing's on the surface. So that's the reason. I hope that answers your question.
Okay.
So easier here, better there.
Okay. So before time flies, right?
Yeah.
Time flies. Okay. So we have a few minutes left. Let's maybe we can show our tip box for today. Okay. And our tip box is about foreigners doing business in the Philippines. There are a few aspects that we've covered, but some we haven't covered. Well, some cultural aspects. I won't read all of them. Okay. No, maybe I'll just read through them, okay? Most Filipinos apply patriarchal hierarchy. That means they consider their bosses as their fathers.
Amo,
father figure, like that. So if their bosses treat them badly, their reaction is really violent sometimes, okay? Yeah. That's why they
that's
do
because
that.
of our cariñoso nature.
Yes. Also, we use more intuition. We use intuitive thinking and consensus to make our decisions more than facts and figures. Okay. Paramdam, yes. Yeah. Pakiramdam. Okay, and also we give high value to personal relationships and socialization. Which is why we are, like Raju said, we're family-oriented.
Yeah.
Okay? We also have we give great importance to keeping face. Okay?
Honor.
Yes, honor. Hindi ako pwedeng mapahiya. Yeah. Okay? And, this is more of a stereotype, that there's a relaxed attitude when it comes to time. for Filipinos?
Well, you know, time is an abstract thing.
Yeah.
There's no such thing as time. It's only we who created the clocks. The Swiss did, and the
Yeah.
French did.
No, we didn't.
If not for you Europeans, we would have no time.
Okay, let's go to the legal aspects this time. The legal aspects are foreigners can generally invest 100%. That is something most foreigners didn't know. Okay, and then foreigners have to consider the 40% equity rule. This is only for the negative list, which is basically doing business or making your market the country itself. And then foreigners get great incentives for export companies like Mika does.
Yeah.
And then also, something they didn't know is that you can actually set up office abroad and put up a branch office in the Philippines. That's another way to go around this whole thing.
Liaison.
Okay. But lastly, we have on the next page, okay, other aspects to doing business. This is more my contribution. The literacy rate here is 90%. English speaking. Most people, maybe they don't speak English grammatically correct, but most Filipinos will understand English. And many people can actually write, okay, something, get understood. And then we're also the 5th largest English-speaking country in the world. And labor and cost of living is relatively cheap here in the Philippines. So I'd like to invite you again. One of our winners will go to the best workshop. And that's on November 20 and 21 at the penthouse of the Makati Stock Exchange building. Registration is at 8 a.m. And of course, for more information, contact the information you see on the screen, BizWiz Resources, and those numbers. Okay? So don't forget to send your name, your contact number, email address, and general location. Okay, so going back to our guest.
Who won?
Let's tell who won. I
CD.
think for the CD, I'll say, how would you say?
I'd like to give it to Susan because that's the only name I know.
Okay.
Susan gets the CD, and
yes.
then you can give the workshop to the other
Okay, the
gentleman.
workshop goes to the first texter. I didn't get your name. Please text again your name and location, and somebody will contact you from BizWiz Resources for your free workshop.
So Mystery Caller gets the ticket.
Yes, and Sousa gets the CD.
Cool.
All right, Sousa, you have to text you have to text which CD you want.
Okay.
All right. Okay. So, any final words for our viewers? Because I think we're being reached in Asia also, and if I'm not mistaken, I got
some parts of Europe.
Some parts of Europe and the Middle East also. I don't know if it's that clear there, but yes. Could you give some message? Let's start with Mika.
I remember one discussion I had a long time ago with a Filipino.
Yes.
And I think everybody is thinking creating business is all about money. Meaning you don't have money, you don't create your own business. And I will say, fortunately, it's wrong. There is many good examples of people motivated and creative who really succeeded. I recently, so I will just make a little comment on a movie I watched over the weekend.
Yes.
The Social Network.
Okay.
Oh.
I invite people
to watch
the movie and to understand what is it about creating a business, creating a startup, and how difficult and how easy it can be. It's giving quite a good picture, not the entire picture, but it's giving, I will say, the main one. And I think many people watching the movie might be then motivated and amazed to see it's not that
difficult.
that impossible.
Wow.
Also, I'd like to invite other people. If you want to, if you have good English speaking skills and can actually teach it, you can also approach Mika for that one. Okay, if you want to get into WeFit Solutions.
Wow.
Raju, any final words?
Well, all I'd like to say is this. I haven't watched the movie, The Social Network.
You should.
So I should. Yeah, I should download it from uTorrent and then watch it.
Wait,
we're on the air. Right?
What I'd like to say is this, that across the world, there are so many cultures and so many personalities. And we've drawn lines across the globe, dividing countries and nations and people. I think we should not draw lines across our hearts. Our relationships should be open. So doing business in any country is easy if you don't carry your past troubles into that future. So my suggestion is keep it open, keep it shared, and let the world grow as one. We are really one, so that's my tip.
All right. Alvin, you have anything to say?
No, that's NLP, right? I was blown away. I learned so much from these people about my own country. It's really strange. But thank you very much
Welcome
for coming
to
over.
SME Forum.
Yes. Thank you for sharing your time and wisdom.
And my name is Boom San Agustin, and I'll leave you with this message. It isn't about perfection. It's about connection. Have a great morning, everybody.